Welcome to Hartman Math. This is lesson 3.5, solving quadratic equations. And today's method is factoring. So we're going to put all the factoring skills that we've been working on to use to solve equations. So we've got greatest common factor, we've got double bubble, difference of squares, possibly factor by grouping, but really focusing on the first three. Example number 1, solve x squared plus 2x equals 24. What makes this a quadratic equation is that it has the x squared, and there's no exponent that's higher than that. So, and it's got an equal sign. That makes it the equation part. So step number 1 is we want to get our equation equal to 0. Currently it's equal to 24. We want to make it equal to 0. And as we're doing that, we really want our x squared term to be positive. Since it's positive on the left, I'm going to leave that part alone. I'm going to go to the right and make this side equal to 0. So let's subtract 24 from both sides. When we subtract 24 on the left, there are no like terms. So let's make sure we write it in the correct order. X squareds, then x's, then constant. So it would look like this, equals 0. As we go through this process, never lose the equal sign. So once we got it equal to 0, now we're going to factor this. There's no GCF. 3 terms, we're going to go double bubble. So we would put x and x to lock in the fronts. We'd look at all the different ways we could make the negative 24. Try them out. Get the one that works. Still equals 0. You should come up with, for part 2, factor x plus 6 and x minus 4. In either order, it does not matter. Once you get to here, we're going to use what's called the zero product property, meaning that if two things, x plus 6, x minus 4, multiply and equal 0, one of them has to be 0. So we would say this equals 0 or this equals 0. So we're going to split them up and say x plus 6 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. And then we just solve each one separately. Minus 6 both sides, add 4 both sides. Our two solutions are x equals negative 6, x equals positive 4. If you want, you can check them out with the negative 6. Negative 6 squared is 36. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Added together makes 24. What about the 4? 4 squared is 16. 2 times 4 is 8. Added together makes 24. So they both check out. All right. You try. Go ahead and solve this one. It's already equal to 0. And that means it's ready to factor. Pause here as you work through. Hit play when you're ready. All right. The correct factoring is 2x plus 1 and x minus 6. Now we're ready to split into two equations, both equal to 0. Let's subtract 1 both sides. Divide by 2. We're going to add 6 over here. Our solutions are x equals negative 1/2, x equals positive 6. Example number 2. This one's equal to 0. Let's go ahead and factor. First thing always to think of, GCF. Is there something in common? Well, there's a 3 in common. There's also an x in common. So we're going to factor out 3x. And that would leave behind 3x times x makes 3x squared. 3x times positive 11 makes positive 33x. Now we're ready to split. 3x equals 0. X plus 11 equals 0. Divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by 3 is still 0. Subtract 11. Those are our solutions. All right. You try. Go ahead and pause here and work through it. All right. Step 1, got to get it equal to 0. We don't want to mess with the left side because it's a positive x squared, so we're going to work over here. get rid of the 6x. We're going to go minus 6x both sides. Now we're going to do greatest common factor, which is just x. And go ahead and split it. X equals 0. X minus 6 equals 0. Add 6 to both sides. X equals 0. X equals 6. Example number 3. Solve. Step 1. Get it equal to 0. Okay? The fastest way would be to get rid of this, but I do not want a negative number of x squared. So I'm going to leave this alone. And I'm going to make this side the 0. So I'm going to have to subtract 17x. I'm going to have to add 10 to get rid of these. So we would get, you want a positive x squared. So that's why we're going to take more work and get a positive x squared. Now it's ready to factor. Double bubble. 3x and x. Signs must be the same to get a plus 10. So either both minus or both plus. That says they're both minus. The winning combination based on our factoring work from before. 3x minus 2, x minus 5. As we check outside inside, we get negative 15x and another negative 2x makes negative 17x. That's how we know it works. Split it. Once it's factored, split, set equal to 0. 3x minus 2 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. Add 5. Divide by 3. There's our solutions. X equals 2/3. X equals 5. Try this one. Pause here. Play when you're ready. We're going to want to get this side equal to 0, so minus 3x. When we do that over here, again, there's no like terms. We want to make sure we put it in the correct order. X's go in the middle. So it looks like that. Now we're ready to factor. Double bubble. X and x. Ways to make negative 40. I think we're going to want the minus 8, the plus 5. So checking. 5x minus 8x is negative 3x. Split it. Add 8 to both sides. Subtract 5 on both sides. We've got our solutions. It's going to be our last one, example number 4. 18x squared is equal to 32. Kind of got to get it equal to 0, so we're going to start going minus 32 both sides. Now we start to factor. GCF goes first always. Clearly there's a 2 in common because they're both even. I think that's it. So I think it's just a 2. Let's factor out a 2. And then 2 terms. That's going to be possibly difference of squares. It's a difference. 9 is a square. X squared is a square. 16 is a square. So it's a difference of squares. Keep the 2 in front. We're going to talk about what would I square to get this? 3x. What would I square to get this? 4. So we get 3x plus 4, 3x minus 4 in the factors. Now we split, set them equal to 0. 2 equals 0. Well, that can never be true. 2 equals 0. 2 does not equal 0. So that doesn't actually lead to any solutions. We're going to focus here and here. 3x plus 4 equals 0. 3x minus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4 both sides. Add 4 to both sides. Finish off, we'll divide by 3. And then we could list them separately, that's fine. Or, since it's just a positive and a negative answer, we could use plus minus notation. So that is read as x equals positive 4/3. X is also equal to negative 4/3. But it was okay to write them separately if you want to. That's it for today. See you next time.